Impatience. Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Middlebrook, lived an old man named Elias. He resided in a quaint little cottage on the outskirts of town, surrounded by fields of lavender and rosemary. Elias was known for his slow and steady pace of life, moving through each day with the grace and patience of a wise turtle. In the heart of Middlebrook was a small pharmacy owned by a man named Frank. Frank's pharmacy was more than just a place to get prescriptions. It was where people came for advice, comfort, and sometimes just for friendly conversation. Frank himself was known throughout the town as an understanding man who had endless patience for his customers' stories and concerns. Every week, without fail, Elias would walk into town to visit Frank's pharmacy. Regardless of whether he needed medication or not, he always made sure to stop by. The townsfolk often saw this routine as an odd one, but didn't question it further because of Elias's reputation as an eccentric old soul. Elias would enter the pharmacy slowly but surely, tapping his cane rhythmically against the wooden floorboards. He would give a gentle nod towards Frank behind the counter before making his way over to sit on an antique wooden stool near the window. Frank would soon join him after attending to other customers and start their routine conversation that could range from discussing weather changes in Middlebrook to sharing anecdotes from their pasts, all carried out with unrushed ease that reflected their inherent patience. Frank found solace in these conversations with Elias. They were therapeutic sessions disguised as casual chats between two friends. The world outside seemed to pause during these moments. There were no impatient customers or ringing phones, only two men sharing stories under the warmth glow of afternoon sun seeping through the window. One day, when winter had painted Middlebrook white, Elias walked into Frank's pharmacy, shivering slightly from cold. He moved slower than usual, and his voice was a tad shaky. Frank noticed this, but didn't comment. Instead, he offered Elias a hot cup of cocoa, which was accepted with a graceful nod. For the first time in the routine meetings, Elias shared his fear about aging and the inevitable end. He spoke of his loneliness and how he missed companionship in his life. Frank listened attentively without interrupting, knowing that Elias needed to share these feelings. Once Elias finished speaking, Frank took a moment to gather his thoughts before saying, Elias, you may feel alone, but remember that you are cherished by this town. Your patience and wisdom have touched us all over the years. Frank's soothing words seemed to comfort Elias as he left the pharmacy that day with a lighter heart than when he arrived. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Their weekly meetings continued with an added layer of understanding between them. They had shared vulnerabilities and supported each other through their unvoiced fears. The story of Frank and Elias is one of patience. Patience to listen, understand, accept life's changes without resistance or haste. It serves as a reminder that everyone needs an outlet for their thoughts or fears, and how patience can pave the way for healing conversations.